Welcome back, everybody, to the CHG podcast. And we got our boy Kinglionoflocs here again today. I don't want to call him special guest because he's no longer special to me. But he is a guest on the podcast nonetheless.
I can't be special. I can't be special.
You're not special anymore.
Yeah.
You're not special anymore. So this is an emergency special CHG podcast for this week because some of you might know Tekken 8 got dropped, or it got properly shown off.
We eating tonight.
I'm not eating just yet because I got a bunch of shit to get off my chest. But he's like one of the few guys who I know that likes Tekken, has played Tekken from like way back, and actually remember some of the shit that they did way back, like in the games. And we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this whole thing. You know, we'll plug for him. He did do a video on his channel where he actually broke down the trailer. It's about like an 8 or 9 minute video. So check that out after this if you want to get his uninterrupted thoughts, because I'm not in there to interrupt him, as I will be today.
It was hard, bricked up that day. It was a hard day that day.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it initially during the PlayStation state of play. I forgot what they called it, or maybe it was a state of play.
I think it was a state of play. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting confused with I think what they had last year. What they called it, the showcase. I think PlayStation Showcase, like that 40-minute long thing from last September. But yeah, I saw it. I was watching. I don't think I saw it live, but I rewatched it later on YouTube. And yeah, I've been waiting for Tekken 8. You probably waiting for Tekken 8.
Yes,
waiting for Tekken 8 for fucking ever.
It needed to hurry up. It really did. Tekken
is going the route of GTA, where they take 1,000 years in between releases.
Yeah. At least they're not giving us the same one for each console, just remastered.
I was gonna say yes, minus the re-releases. that
cock tease. It really is. It just
well, instead of re-releases, we just kept getting DLC. We had 4 season passes, man. Holy shit!
And some of them weren't even. Some of the DLCs were good, but they should have just been characters we should have gotten in the game. Like they just resold as characters that had been main staples. It just no one played them because they were hard. And don't get me wrong, they were hard, but you can't have a game without these characters. There is that 1% that plays those characters.
Yes, and it's funny you say that because I don't know. This is kind of a little too ahead too early, but I was gonna. One thing you brought up though, I'm just saying off the top of my head was with how fighting games in particular, have gone now. Now, yes, some games still do DLC characters, like Mortal Kombat does. Soul Calibur did when that came out, but nowadays you've seen a lot of characters being given out for free with updates, right? So I do kind of wonder what they'll do going forward with their DLC scheme. I'm sure they'll have one, because I'm doubt they'll put all the Tekken characters in this one. I doubt it. I mean, they could surprise us, but I doubt it. And so it's like, what do you do? I mean, I don't think it's a problem to pay for the guest characters, or maybe even the original, like the brand new original characters or whatever. But if it's for like, Julia or Ganryu, or I think it's Ganryu, or Kunimitsu, I think some of those could have been updated character, just free updates characters,
Even Han-Ra, like not Han-Ra, Jet Li's the Jet Li's, not Jet Li's character.
Leroy.
Well, no, not Leroy. The Jackie Chan character, the Jackie Chan.
Oh, Lei.
Yes.
Oh, Lee.
You had to pay to get him.
Sorry, I forgot. I knew there was another one. Yeah. Yes, Lee as well. And Anna. Anna
too. Yeah, you had to pay to get Anna.
Like some of those, if they were already established characters in Tekken, I think they should have just been updates. But and not only that, some of them. I mean, I think most of the time the DLC was like whatever. No one really talked too much about it. But I think shit hit the fan on the 3rd or 4th DLC season pass, when they gave you frame data or whatever the fuck it was.
Yes, the non-character, just like the system helped made the game smoother. Yeah, that's when it kind of picked back up again.
That's when we were like, bro, you gotta be kidding me. You're gonna make me pay? I mean, you're really gonna make me pay? Like, I'm paying for frame data?
Yeah, no. And those people that did it were the people that did it competitively, or the online community. People that were just playing it at home, they were like, I'll just deal with it at home because it's not that big of a deal.
and like I can see the mentality, right? Because most people who buy DLC for any game are your diehards most of the time.
Yeah.
Like people who like me or you, right? Who we just love Tekken. We want to support Tekken because it's fucking Tekken. Like that's our we love it.
Yeah.
So like I bought all 4 of the season pass, not at time of release, but at different point, various points, I did eventually buy all 4. Um, but but like again, I didn't really use them. I just bought them because I was just like, I want to make sure Tekken can do well, so we
Mm-hmm.
can get Tekken 8. Um, so I'll support any way I can. But I'm like, we're like the 5% of the player base, right? Who bought the season passes from the get go.
Right.
But then you take that percentage of people and you make it even smaller because only that percentage of people, the diehards, are actually going to be needing frame data for online play
Yeah.
or for practicing
We're
or
not doing it
whatever,
online. Like,
yeah. I don't have frame data. Why the fuck would I use frame? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm like, I'm not that good. I'm not doing frame data battles. Are you kidding me, bro? So yeah, that screamed free patch update. You know what I mean? That
mm,
was how, like, guys, you guys are either getting too greedy for your own good or you're out of ideas. And this is the only thing that you could come up with for your season pass.
yeah,
You
they
know?
literally were. I feel like they realized that they missed a lot of the characters that they should have added in, or they thought that people wouldn't have noticed. And when people did notice, it's like, well, here, if you want these characters, you got to pay for these characters, so that way we can sprinkle in some new characters. Which the new characters they did give us were good characters. I especially like you mentioned, Leroy. Leroy was one of the best characters that they added. In my own opinion, but I feel like adding in those old characters that we had was a cop out. It was to help pad the game in. You didn't need to do that. When
Yeah.
there was other things that they could have did to help pad the game out.
Now I know when Tekken 7 dropped, around the time it dropped, I think sometime afterwards, Harada went on multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Harada, the director of the long-standing director of Tekken, he went on record to say it was either he needed the game or the DLC or both to sell well because it dictated whether he would be able to even do 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, fuck. I remember reading about that and I was like, okay. That's why I bought the DLC.
Yeah.
That's why I bought this season because I was like, I Tekken needs to live. Tekken needs to live on. It's one of like the only 3 fighting games I'm actually okay at,
Yeah. Like,
like, and that I enjoy. It just needs to go
yeah,
on,
because like
right? And
Tekken was always like the redheaded stepchild. You have your Street Fighters, and then you have your modern, not Modern Warfare. You have your Mortal Kombat, and then down below those two is the own niche of Tekken characters. Then you have like all the rest of them, like the Guilty Gears and the King of Fighters and all that. But it's really just been like if you're not Street Fighters and you're not Mortal Kombat, you have that percentage of Tekken players, and like we need to thrive too. Like we have our own games, we have our own fighting systems now. It's a good thing now that Tekken is in the fighting game community because there are people that have been playing the new Tekken 7 game, and I'm sure when Tekken 8 comes out, they're going to be playing those too.
yeah, like you didn't see Tekken at Evo until after 7 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And for those who don't know, Evo, the Evolution, is the biggest fighting game tournament of, I think, in the world.
Yeah, they
It's
just
held
went to New
yearly.
York, not New York, Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
it's a world championship, and Tekken. There's different fighting games represented in there, and Tekken's one of them. But it didn't used to be. You don't remember. You never really heard. I'm sure there were tournaments. I'm sure there were, but you didn't really hear Tekken talk about the fighting community too much back in the day. Nowhere near as much as Street Fighter. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat have been in the fighting game tournament community from the get
Yeah,
go.
they've been the kings of it, and I got to give them credit for that. Mortal Kombat is fun. I hate the fatalities to try to do that with my fingers. I had like blisters on them, but it was fun. Street Fighter, we don't even talk about that game because my fingers will not do no clock 30 and then up down. No, fuck that.
Bro, oh man,
No.
any 2D fighters are a struggle for me. I can't do Street Fighter either. I'm okay at Marvel vs. Capcom. That one's I like. Actually, had to have fun with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But all the others, I played a couple other ones, like all these other lesser known 2D fighter games and stuff. I even played Persona Arena Ultimax,
Mm.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which, man, that game was fucking brutal. I got the platinum 100% for that because they released 3 different DLC packs for different characters. Some of the hardest shit I've ever done in my life
I
because
believe that.
you needed to do their challenges, their combo challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, some of the most brutal. Oh, I wouldn't. I know they re-released it recently. Staying clear away from
You want
that.
to go back for more?
I'm not even touching that, bro. And I
All
also
right.
did it for Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, that ill-fated game from way back in the day.
We gonna talk about that another time. We
Well,
could do it
I'm
Mortal
gonna have
Kombat
to. I'm
games
gonna
later.
have to because they had combo challenges for all the characters, and there's trophies to do them all. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing them all.
Those character models though,
That is. Oh yes, I'm not. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just the combo challenges. I don't know if you ever did them, but
I think I tackled it one time and it was like, no, I can't.
oh, oh my gosh, some of those characters were some of the most. That was some of the most challenging shit I had ever done. I was like 19 or 18 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the hardest shit I'd ever done to that point, and even since I it's the hardest. Some of the characters you breeze through, but some characters like Raiden, Shang Tsung, Joker, for me Jax, they would have like one or two challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You're just stuck for hours. You're trying. I'm pressing the fucking thing. I'm doing the input, and it
Yeah.
is not registering. But I got through. But like Marvel's Capcom, I think is kind of. But anyways, yes, Mortal Kombat. I like Mortal Kombat. I do like it because yes, it's 2D style, but it's 3D models, and I can deal with that. I just like it being 3D, like
Yeah.
3D models, like 3D style. I know Street Fighter's gone that route now, but it didn't used to be for a long time, and so I don't know. Mortal Kombat felt like a 3D game in a 2D space to me.
Definitely, especially since the
So
original one, they had the actual character models be the characters just like
oh yeah, of course.
laminated on that bitch.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just felt like yes, it is a 2D game, but I don't know. It just felt like a 3D game though to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always been down with Mortal Kombat. To me to this day still Deception is my favorite. Um, it's also the first one I played, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't played one better. I haven't played one better than Deception. I would they need to stop fucking around and remaster those PS2 games or port them or something. Shaolin Monks, Deception, Armageddon, get him in there. I don't know what the problem is.
Hey, you have the new PlayStation Plus or the new one on
Oh,
the. So eventually it'll be on that catalog. I'm waiting till they got more
well,
games before I get on there.
what I want, I mean, yes, that'll be if I had to take a concession,
Mm-hmm.
okay. If they get added on there and they get trophies added on there, I'm fine. I don't need anything else. But the thing is, my issue is that they probably wouldn't have trophies with it, and that's what I really want. I want to play these with trophy, like to get a platinum for them, and all that. That's what I really want
Okay.
because
Okay.
I'm a trophy guy. But anyways, back to Tekken. So the trailer dropped. It was pretty cool. I don't really care one way or another if all that slow mo cinematic stuff are in regular fights. They'll probably be in some of the story mode fights, I'd imagine.
Okay. So my issue with the
But
slow mo, right? So before they incorporated the slow motion, they had the ability where you can keep hitting the players after the KO has ended. And
yeah,
growing
they used to, yeah, yeah.
and growing up, my mom was the one that got me on the Tekken, and she was the most toxic woman. You would think I'm toxic; she's the most toxic. She's beating on kids. So like when that KO hits, she's like, "Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall," and I'm crying. I'm like, "Mama, let me fall." And she's like, "Nah, don't fall." So like,
Mama, let me go.
so like when Tekken 7 came out and they had the slow motion thing, I was like, okay, I can no longer do the don't fall, but the slow motion was cool. The only issue with the slow motion is if you both are going and both are like real low to be to like almost die and you both whiff or miss the hit, you're still in slow motion. So like you have to wait till the move ends for both sides before y'all can go back to fighting. There are compilations of when that looks cool, but I'm pretty sure there are more compilations of when that looks ass. So when they did it in the trailer, I was like, please let this like be more optimized where if it only does that when you are about to kill or when you're like actually making contact. Because if we're just doing that in slow motion and we make no contact, that's a whole 4 or 5 seconds of my life I'm never getting back. I'm never getting that back.
Okay, so I will say I did like the slow mo in 7, where like you're both about to die. It's down to the last, or supposedly down to the last hit.
Mm.
And it's like that's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind that. I never did. Um, but like it seemed to be there was a lot of it in the trailer that we saw. And I imagine it's probably going to be reserved just for those story mode fights. I'd imagine
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to get too weird to have it dynamically happen in random online battles on a regular basis. Um, I will say I'm a little. I don't know how I feel about the. Now I know they said Harada went on record to say like they scrapped all the assets Tekken, of any previous
They
Tekken,
look
and they rebuilt
totally different. I will admit.
everything from 8. And now they still look like themselves. Like Jin, I could still recognize that's Jin and that's Kazuya. But I don't know. I just never. I can't say whether I'm as blown away as I thought as I think I should be. Just not just with the character models, but just the whole graphical representation as a whole. And I said this again with Tekken 7. Like Tekken 7 was really starting to show its age, in my opinion. Now, not everyone needs to agree on that, but I mean, the game came out in 2015. That's 7 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was. I mean, it was practically a fucking launch title for those new
It was for
systems.
the
It was only a couple years.
PS4 when it first came out. It was like you want PS4 to play Tekken and the good graphics for it.
And it only came out a couple years after those systems dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was still fresh, very fresh into the system's life cycle. And Tekken 7 did look really good to me at the time. And I don't know, like, I think with this new, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say because, like, a lot of times, especially you kind of know this is more when you're going into the customization
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, the characters all kind of look the same.
It was the same model. They were. That was that.
Like, it's the same base model, right? Like, not every one of them is individually crafted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Tekken has
and they
the
all,
same. You could tell that a character is a Tekken character because they all kind of have a certain je ne sais quoi. They certain look about themselves. Like you can look at a character and be like, okay, you're not a Street Fighters character, you're not a Mortal Kombat or King of Fighters. You look like a certain character from a genre that is only specific from that game, and you're like, this is a Tekken character. That's what they all look alike. They all you can pick them out.
yeah, and it's fine to where, like, you have that uniqueness within your entire character model base, but like when I'm looking for like uniqueness and individuality, you kind of lose it. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't, and you notice it when you're looking through all the character models, like when you're looking at the customization, like, yeah, they dress differently, their faces, yes, do look different, but like when you're looking at the whole how they just kind of just look in their body and everything, it's like they all look the same,
Mm-hmm.
like the same proportions, and like this, I don't know, like you could tell like it started from the same build, the same model build, like they all did, and they kind of just threw some assets on top of that. and, and that never I didn't really notice at the time, but as time has gone on, I'm like, this doesn't look as impressive as it used to be. Now, it is a fighting game, and I know you're going to kind of forget about that when you're playing, but I don't know. I think it's worth noting. And so with Tekken 8, I was seeing, and I was like, I mean, it looks really good. It does look better than 7, but I don't know. I guess I was just looking for something a little more crisp, I think is the right word I'm looking
I,
for.
I
Something a bit more
I
crisp.
will say that with the exception of the costume changes, like I mentioned in the video, Jin always had the different costume for every game. With the exception of the costume changes, that was pretty much it. Every year, and when the graphics actually started to look better, I would say PS4, PS a little bit PS3, PS4. The characters all started to have a certain look to them, as opposed to back Tekken 3 through 1, where they were like just like polygons. They didn't have any shape to them. But once they got to like Tekken 4, they actually started to look like the characters more so that they do now in Tekken 6 and 7. Tekken 8, they I don't want to say it's because you have to get it on the next gen, but you definitely will need to get it on the next. You would have to get either an Xbox or a PS5 because just the look of that whole trailer will make your PS4 Pro or whatever Xbox 360 or I think Xbox One sound like a fucking engine. Like those characters just look too crisp. Even Jin's pants, like I've always said, like his character just had the next drip for each fight except for Tekken 7. We just gonna he died in that one. But like Tekken 8, he had that drip, and then Kazuya came in. The muscle flex, that muscle, like if they add that into the game where like as soon as you hit that one good strong move, they all have that one strong move, they hit that bitch and like they whole muscle just double in size. That will be good. You definitely need a next generation to play that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I think my critique of the graphics might kind of just fade away if I start noticing these other minor. Cause I'm becoming a bit of a stickler for like these more the things you don't expect in a game, in any game, whether it's fighting, racing, adventure, whatever. Like you said, like if it, like, their muscle bull, like their leg maybe gets a little bigger or
Yeah.
something, right? Or something, maybe like the veins, you see proper veins in the right places, or like when they're just in their stance, their muscles are fine, but like when they actually go for a punch, it flexes, because it's probably what would happen in real life. The arm actually would change, or the leg would change, and you actually see definition in the leg
Right.
change mid strike or something like that. That kind of stuff would probably be enough for me to be like, okay, I may not be the biggest, I may not be mooning over everything with the graphics, but like all these other little things, I can get down with that. Now, I did notice the rain actually is dynamic and does fall off of them. Now, my next question will be like, will you actually see the effect of that on the characters as time goes by? Like, so if you're playing with a woman like
Mm-hmm.
Nina, will you actually see her hair,
You're wet.
go down more and be actually like more heavier because it has all that water in it now? Or will Rang, will his hair look a little different, flatter or something because the rain is hitting down on it or whatever? That'd be my next
And
question that I would love to
I
see.
think that will. I don't know if it's going to be as great as we want it to be, but I do think that they will because they've already incorporated like you get dirt and like you get dirt and grime on your character on the character's clothes
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that. Just not maybe to that degree of the trailer because the trailer was saying like this wasn't the final the it wasn't what the final vision will look like, but I think it'll be close to that, where the rain will actually go on their clothes and stuff. I don't know, their hair will shrink down, or like, let's say Paul's hair will go from the eraser head down to like his slick hair because it's wet. I don't know if that will happen, but something to the nature.
Well, he does have that alternate hairstyle where it is
Yeah.
down. It's it's more flatter. So as a little gag, because he's a funny
Mm,
character, it will start off that and then just like turn into that,
that would be
like
nice.
just that mop thing. But like it might be like a quick change, not gradual, but just like bloop. I could probably laugh at that because it's
Yeah.
Paul, and like if any character can do it, it's Paul. Like yeah, or like with the clothes, if some character like Brian who can depending what outfit he has a full outfit on,
Mm,
it'll be like, darker because the water, right? Will it make his jacket darker or his pants darker? If some character's wearing jeans, will that be like it'll turn from like, a lighter blue to a dark because all that water is now
right.
on you and stuff like that, So like that's questions that I ask, which I think would be possible with Unreal 5. It's just whether or not they can get it to work.
And they were able
Um,
to like incorporate jacket mechanics because like again back to Jin or really any character that has a hood, if you have the hood on and you fall off, or the Vegeta, there's a character named Vegeta, I think, or he looks like Vegeta. He has like a little scouter thing, but when he falls off, his turban falls off. I can't think of the name of
there's a dude named Shaheem.
them. I think that might be it, but
He
yes,
has a
so like
turban,
when he falls, his turban falls off.
which actually I don't think is a
Oh,
turban. It's not a turban, but he has a traditional cultural
headpiece. Yeah.
headpiece on. Yes. Um, yeah. Well, they've been doing that
I
since
know. So
4, as a
if they
matter of
can do
fact.
that, they should be able
I
to.
which oh man, takes me back to Tekken 4, man. I was impressed by
It was
everything
good.
in Tekken 4. Like I remember because Jin in one of his outfits was like a full
He
sweat,
had the
he
first
like you said,
Nike.
like you said, that drip. He had on a whole
Yes,
sweatsuit
the whole he
on
was
with
the
some
original
nice
Nike's
kicks.
jumpsuit. He was getting all the bitches back then.
He he was the Nike spokesboy for Tekken back in Tekken 4, back in
Yes,
'04, I think it was actually, as a matter of fact. And yeah, he would start with it on, and you knocked him down, his
that's when
hood
it
would
got
come off.
beast mode happened.
I remember being
Yeah, if
blown
I
away.
lose and my hood come off, beast mode happened. Then now I gotta go in on you.
Oh man. But little RJ, I'm sure little Lion as well, little King Lion, losing our shit. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
His
his
hood is
hood
gone.
came off. It's like
It's like,
I lost my
whoa,
hood.
how'd that
All right,
happen?
fine.
Did I just did I unlock something? Did I do a cheat code in the game? I was like, oh no, it's just he fell down. That's what would happen
It looked
in real
cool.
life. I was like, oh, Tekken 4. I mean, people actually say as far as competitively, it's not the best. It's not the most mechanically
Yeah,
sound game. I don't give a
it's fun.
fuck about any of that. I love
Yeah.
Tekken 4. Oh my gosh, I love Tekken. I think it might be my
It is a
favorite
good
one.
couch game. Like
I
it's an incredible couch game when you bring the homies over, or like I said, like we started with Tekken 3, but every Tekken became a household game whenever me and my cousins and my mom, like, we would come out and play. And the next Tekken comes out, my cousins coming over to our house because they know that my mom already bought the game, so that we could all get our asses handed to her. Just like that was the fun. So like Tekken was the game that brought my family together. It was crazy.
Actually, Tekken brought mine too for a time. There was when my dad was still like hanging out, like able to still be before he had moved to
Hmm.
Georgia. He was still able to see us. Um, this is way back. We actually played Tekken 3. Tekken 3 actually brought myself, my dad, my brother, and my sister who does
Yeah.
not play games. She even jumped in a couple times and played
Yeah.
Tekken 3 with
It
us a
was the
few
starter.
times. That was like the only game I think we all ever played together. So yeah, Tekken definitely was like a brief moment of bonding between all of us. But no, Tekken 4 I think is my favorite, behind 5 and then 3. Um,
Okay.
5 only because 5 I love the intro with Kazi and Heihachi just laying some
That
of
was
these
amazing.
acts.
I would say that was amazing to play in Tekken 7, but seeing that fight was amazing. That really was.
Because at the time Tekken 5 came out, I was only like a teenager, and you're younger than me, so you must have been maybe a
Mm-hmm.
preteen. Um, the graphics on Tekken 5
Were amazing.
were
They were amazing.
stupid good. Like they had to push the PS2 as hard. Like, oh, dude, they were
Like I
whipping
said,
that
a
mule
jet
every
engine. Like
day.
you, it was.
Holy shit. But it was so good. Every character looked amazing. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I thought I was literally looking at, like, I mean, I didn't know what PS3 was, but like, that could rival some early PS3 stuff. But like, the cinematics could
Yeah, you
absolutely
could see
rival
the
it,
horror.
which
You
is
could see the horror in
insane.
Heihachi's face when he's about to get blown up. Like,
Oh my gosh. It just man, yeah, I'm still watching. I'm still impressed. I still watch it today sometimes, and I'm still
mm-hmm.
blown away. But like all the characters are amazing looking in that intro because like it's the first setup with those two, and then it goes to all the other characters to introduce them and shit. But like that the music they use, the song that they use, I don't know what it is about it. It just kind of like just the nostalgia just hits me so hard, and I can't help but just shed a little tear for for the good times.
They were always good.
Shout out, pour one out for the
Yeah,
old days,
the
man.
music was always good. Like I would say Tekken music was good. I don't know which one. I think it was Tekken 6. They had Snoop Dogg had a song on there. He had his own arena, and he has his own song playing.
Oh, he has an arena. Yes, yes, he has an arena. I don't know about a song, but he has
Yeah.
an arena for sure. I think that was also in Tekken Revolution, the PSN game that was like kind of like only lasted for a
Mm,
couple years. It was more of an online
yeah.
focused thing when
It
that
was.
was kind of
I didn't too
popular.
much like that one because I had to play online, and
Yeah, I played it too. I only played it because like,
yeah.
oh, Tekken. All right, yeah, you don't gotta explain it to me. Like, I will click on Tekken. And then I saw what it was about. It's more like kind of like a PSN early like live as service type of title, like an
Mm-hmm.
early one before they became really popular. Soul Calibur had one too, actually. As a matter of fact, I played both of them. That was actually where Eliza was first introduced. Was
Really?
Tekken Revolution. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's where she was first introduced,
Hmm.
I believe. Um, Anywho, yeah. So Tekken's. So obviously we love
Yeah. Yeah.
Tekken, as
It's
you guys can
favorite
tell.
game.
Like we're longtime fans. Longtime fans. Favorite fighting game. It's one of my top
I will play
games.
that.
Period. Like
That
top
was my first. That was
franchises.
my first fighting. I won't say my
Period.
first game or first fighting game that I was introduced with. It was Tekken 3. I didn't play the first two. But Tekken 3 was the first one I played. I I would say
Mm-hmm.
in my favorites, it would have to be Tekken 3 only because like that was the first one I remember playing. Tekken 5. I like Tekken 5. Tekken 4 was good because we had Chrissy, and I think that was when I got started to, enjoy women, and like I was like, this is, yeah,
Crispy.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
Fan it down, bro. I was like 13 when that game dropped. Perfect
yes.
age, bro. Perfect. See, you might not understand just yet everything.
Oh yeah, I was like,
You kind of like
I was
her, but
like,
you didn't know
why does
why.
she look?
Like, but like at 13, at that point why. And so I was just like,
Yeah.
oh man. Ah! um yeah, but anyway, so I have a lot of reservations about Tekken 8 going forward, right? Because there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things that I personally did not like. Because keep in mind, we're not competitive players. Okay.
No, no.
I have fucked around with online. I don't know what rank I got up to. I don't like get absolutely plastered, but I will definitely lose if someone's even a little, because I don't know juggling combos. I don't care enough to look them up and figure them out, because I know that's all Tekken is now,
Yeah,
is juggling.
juggle.
Um, I don't care about it. So we're not coming from the perspectives of online players per se. Okay, guys. So I just want to preface that right away. But obviously the first thing is bring back proper arcade mode. I mentioned this in my podcast, my list podcast with David, but I want proper arcade mode back. Give it back, Harada. I don't know why you took that from me and all of us and
Yeah.
thought that these stupid character story scenario things was a proper, suitable replacement. How dare you, Harada? You should know better than that. Don't fix what isn't broke. I think they spent so many assets, so much time with this Heihachi story, and then figuring out how to get in Akuma to fit in with it and
Which is
everything. That
I.
everything else went to the back. Every other mode besides online mode
Mm,
just got shafted completely. Just
mm-hmm.
shafted. I'm like, so I'm like, whatever you guys do with your story mode for 8, because we all know there will be one. Can you not fucking forget about everything else that other players like to do with Tekken?
And okay, so we talked about this a little bit. I'm just devil's advocate. I'm giving the reason probably why there was no arcade mode is because in the other Tekkens, even Tekken 6, while there was a story mode, there was an arcade mode, was because they still was able to canonically hold the Iron Fist tournament. In Tekken 7, they still was able to hold it, even though the world was going to shit. But in Tekken 6, they were able to hold it while the world was going to shit. But Tekken 7, they weren't able to do that because Jin was MIA. Kazuya and Heihachi were actually literally fighting each other. And then Akuma was just out of nowhere, all WWE style, like just interrupted everyone and just coming in here. I wish he doesn't come back in here. And I know there are some people that do like his character. Shout out to our man, Susui. He
Yeah,
loves that. He loves that character, and I feel
that's his
so
dude.
bad. He
That's
is
his dude.
yes, but like that. Oh, I'm so glad if he is not in next year's game because his character makes no sense to be in this game. Like
Not anymore. I mean, because he had nothing to do with Jin. He has nothing to do with Jin.
no, but
And so,
his mission was to kill Heihachi and Kazuya.
yeah.
He
Wait, that was just
Kazuya.
Heihachi.
No,
I
no,
thought it
no.
was just.
Like, yeah, because like in the trailer, his mom was like, "Hey, I need you to kill Heihachi, and I need you to kill Kazuya."
Oh, I didn't know it was Kazuya.
Yeah, he wanted him to
Okay.
kill Kazuya too.
Okay.
And that's why he went to Kazuya to fight him in the
Yes,
in the game.
that's spoiler, I guess.
Yeah,
That's the last
sorry.
fight. That's the last fight in the scenario mode for Tekken 7 is Kazuya versus Akuma. But you
Yeah,
play as Kazuya though. I think.
you do. But
Yeah.
before that fight, he fights Heihachi and it ends in a draw technically, and then he fights Kazuya because he goes to Kazuya's tower
Mm-hmm.
and they duke it out, and that's when Heihachi shoots a laser down and blows them both up, but they both survive because it's Tekken. But yeah, Akuma is supposed to kill both of them, and he doesn't kill Heihachi because spoilers. But he doesn't kill Kazuya because Kazuya's in the next game. So either Kazuya killed Akuma, which I don't believe Street Fighter is going out like that, or his character just said fuck off in the next game. Which again, I don't like his character in this game. In this game, I don't like him in Street
Yeah.
Fighters. Perfect. Stay
Yeah.
out of my game.
So that's another thing we want no 2D fighters except Eliza. That's only because she's a fucking thought.
Yes.
And a thirst trap, and we like our thirst traps.
Yeah.
So but she's the only one. But get rid of Akuma. Any guest characters like Geese that use him, get him out.
I didn't play him, so yeah, I didn't have no beef with him.
I don't want any more 2D fighters except Eliza. And even actually, honestly, I don't even know why they gave her 2D moves in the first place, because she's an original character.
I thought she was with Street Fighter because she had the little bar like Akuma.
Not. She's not. She was actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think she was actually they were doing a contest or something like that for like drawing a character or something like that, and then the people Bandai chose who they wanted like out of the list, and they chose that one and they put it in the game. And that's where she initially debuted in Tekken Revolution. I think she was part of a contest, fan contest or whatever. But yeah, I don't know why they gave her 2D moves in the first place. So I mean, I mean, you could easily swap some of those with just button inputs and then call it good, So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So we don't want those. I'm so sorry, Susui, our boy. We love you, man. We really do.
His
I mean, I love Hey, I'll be the first one to say, man, I love your Persona series, man. I will be your biggest advocate
Yes.
on this dying day.
And he kills it. He does kill it
But
when he plays the character on Tekken. But
oh yeah, and I know he's good.
I
I
just be
know he's
secretly
good.
hating. I really do. Like I'm like, man, you're
But
good, but like I just hate that character. I really do. Like,
but yeah, I hate the 2D fighters, and I because also I hate the fact that this isn't like as King just said, this isn't the right game. Get him out.
yeah,
Like if you're gonna bring him in, then properly integrate them without their 2D shit. You know, and if you're gonna have an Hadouken, okay, then make it a button and put like down, right, circle or something. Just really boom, 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 whatever, right? And so, but it's just everything that I feel like they just break the mechanics of Tekken. And it's like I'm not about that, and I hate it. And this is speaking offline. I can only imagine how it is online. You know,
and I would say lore. I'm also coming from like lore wise. You wouldn't want to introduce a character like Akuma into Tekken because if his whole mission was to kill Heihachi and Kazuya, why did he take now to come and kill them? Like Akuma's been around for a while, wrecking shit in not Tekken, in Street Fighters, and even when we had the Tekken and Street Fighters, like that little collab, like
yeah,
they look more like Street Fighter characters in that game, so that kind of made more sense. It was more so a Street Fighter's game. Like all the Tekken characters took L's in the Street Fighter Tekken game, but like Street Fighter is not going to take no L in their own. They're not going to let you have their main characters, one of their main bad guys, and let them lose in a Tekken universe. So, like, we could have just had our own made up character that decided to wait till fuck forever to come by and kill these guys. Like, you had to send in Akuma to do this. Really?
Yeah, there are some plot holes. If you really want to get, want to dig a bit deeper, there are some plot holes that don't make sense. I just don't like it mechanically. I mean, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's
cool,
the badass, like the best fighter. I will honestly say that.
Yeah, but just wrong game, dude. Just wrong game. So I hope they don't do that again. So that's something we agree on. Again, sorry, Susui. And kind of the homie RJ, because he uses Eliza. That's his main too. See, I know this because I fought against him, so I know that.
I didn't have a problem with Eliza. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Eliza. It was mostly through Akuma and the story mode. Story mode Akuma was just terrible. He really was. He was just the worst character.
Also, yeah. He is so hard. He is literally the spike jumps in that game, which I guess you could make sense of it because he's Akuma. Mm-hmm. But it's still like I'm playing on easy mode for a fucking reason, dude. I'm not playing because like here's another thing that I have a problem with these story modes, and Mortal Kombat suffered from this a bit too. It makes you play as characters you're not good with.
Yeah.
Like you have to play as Heihachi, Kazuya, Eliza, I think Lee. Maybe a couple others. I've never used them in my life. Okay, Heihachi a little bit, but everyone else I've never used them, and so I don't know how to fucking play as them. And then not only that, we're like, of course, like for those who play Tekken, the two main spikes was the Heihachi Akuma fight, and then the Kazuya Akuma fight. Mm-hmm. Those are like the two spike jumps in difficulty, even on easy.
Because you play as Akuma, I think.
No. Both times you play against Akuma, I believe.
Okay.
But it's like I don't know these characters enough to really do well. Like I'm like, just let me play as fucking Law. Like I don't want to play as Law. Like if I was playing Law, I could have wrecked this dude shit easy. But like I'm playing as someone I've never played as before, and it's like I'm not supposed to be able to. How can I be expected to learn an entire move list or some move lists in a good way right away? And I know there was like these little shortcut moves that you could do.
Yeah,
but like they didn't help that much. They didn't really help that much. So that was very frustrating for me. And I'm sure a lot of players, when it makes you play as these other characters you've never played as, and it's just not as easy to pick up and play as a lot of these characters. Because obviously different characters are for different skill sets, And I just found that very, very frustrating. Now I know 6's story mode, which they called the scenario campaign mode, for those who remember. That was ass too, but at the very least, at least you could play as whoever the fuck you wanted. Because the story revolved around Eliza. And then you basically just chose a random character to play along with her.
I forgot you could do that.
Yeah, that's how that went. So your character literally has no consequence on anything. But at least you get to be who you're good with.
I completely forgot that. Wow. But didn't you have to beat the character in that game, though? Like in that board before you could pick him? Or could you just pick the character?
You choose your character from the start of the scenario campaign mode. And then you kind of just hang around with Eliza or whoever's the main focus and fight with... It was a glorified Tekken Force mode.
I remember that game. Yeah, I remember that mode on there.
It was basically Tekken Force, but just it's the entire campaign. So that's what it was. That's how that was like the style of that campaign. So it was a bit top down, not too far up, but it was a bit top down style.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of just ran from point to point, and you could even, I think you even grabbed health pickups too,
You
like in
could the
Tekken
chickens,
Force,
yeah,
like
chickens
in
and
Tekken
stuff.
Force. So like it was basically Tekken Force, but just like on steroids. But like I'm not saying it was good because it kind of was a bit of a letdown. I was like, this is weird. Like, is this why I don't have my storyboards for arcade mode? Okay, but at least I got to be Law. I could just be Law and play this and not enjoy myself a bit because I'm playing with someone I'm good with.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm playing Tekken 7 and I'm playing as Kazuya and he's not the easiest character to pick up and play, it's like it's like, man, I'm dying mostly because I don't know how to fucking play as this guy, you know? And it's like, so now I gotta go to training mode and learn another character and spend all that time learning him so I can get through this couple fights with him.
Yeah.
Or Nina. Nina's not an easy character to pick up, especially with all her chain throws and her combos and all that. Like, she's not the easiest character to pick up. You have to play as her. I don't know how to play as Nina. So I know they're gonna do a story mode with 8. I just hope they find a way to mix it to where you can still do your story, but not force all the players to play as these certain characters, these very specific characters.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm okay with, I like playing as Jin. I'm not really good with him, but I do like to fuck around with him a few times. So I'm sure I would have to play with him. So that wouldn't be a big deal. But like, who knows who else you have to fucking mess
Yeah.
around with? You know?
I feel like we're gonna have to be like the main characters, asterisks being like, well, and including not as main, but like Violet and Elise, because they were like heavily like hint throughout the last game. So like you'll have to play some of the main focus characters. But I don't see us having to play like rando characters. Like you're not gonna play like a king character or
Yeah, like
Panda.
Law's not going to be in this story.
Yeah, unfortunately,
You
it's gonna
know?
be the ones that were the story's mainly about, and I hate that too.
Yeah, you'll probably have to play as Lars, Xiao Yu, Eliza, or at least I don't know how to say her name. Maybe Nina again. I don't know because I know
Mm.
she was in cahoots with I think Kazuya. I think she was working with Kazuya.
Yeah,
So you know, and probably Kazuya and Jin, probably even Heihachi. I
if
wouldn't be
he
surprised.
if he's still alive, I
Uh,
know you'll have to play like Eddie as well because he's in there too, and I think he's trying to kill. He's either trying to kill Kazuya for what he did to his whole side of his family in his little story mode. But yeah, you're gonna fight those. Like you're gonna be those characters again. I think.
yeah, and it's like, oh man, I've never played as Lars in
Yeah,
my life.
I was terrible with him.
Xiao Yu, I'm so bad at Xiao Yu, bro. Like I'm not good with her. She is too like tricky and short attacks, long. She's too crazy for me. I can't handle Xiao Yu. I mean, I've been wrecked by Xiao Yu, but I
Oh,
cannot
definitely.
handle Xiao Yu.
Um,
I can't play as her. She's a bit too convoluted for me. So it's like my Eddies, Wolrang, you know, Laws, Brian. None of those characters that I like are gonna be in any story because they've never been part of the overarching story of Tekken, and it's like fucking hell. So it's like I don't know how they're gonna figure it out. They might have to just, but I wouldn't mind if they separated it. Where like, yes, you know what? I'll take that back. I don't care what they do, as long as I get an arcade mode.
mhm.
That's good. It's like if I can get back to those storyboards before arcade modes and that's a good cinematic at the end, I don't think I'd be that mad, actually, be honest with you. That's how much I cherish Tekken arcade modes because they were like the only ones to fucking do it. Like
Yeah,
to give you a cool ass like why are you here situation. What's their motivation? What is fueling them? Whether are they going for revenge, a rival fight, the money, whatever, you know, just looking for opponents to fight, you know, strengthen their battle. Like Soul Calibur actually did that too, which I really loved as well. Um, and so it's just so rare you get that in any fighting game, 2D or 3D. So it's like when they took that away, I was like, this was like the one thing that separated you guys from all the other fighting games. Why would you take that away?
yeah,
You know? And so yeah, we'll have to see what happens though, because like Harada's gone on record to say fighting games are in a better state than they've ever been before,
yeah. They're up now.
which
Stocks
which
are
I
there.
agree. Which I agree. And I hope that helps him realize that he doesn't have to, because I know part of the reason why we got shafted in a lot of other modes was because, you know, he was worried if Tekken was going to be able to continue after 7. I think he actually had to fight a lot to get 7 even done because Tekken Tag Tournament 2 actually didn't do that well.
Which it was
Um,
fun. I liked it. I liked it better than Tekken Tag 1, but I would say in terms of what we wanted at the time, we already had Tekken 6, which we've already said Tekken 6 was probably not their best game at the
It wasn't
time.
that good. Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, and so to have Tekken 6 and then you double down with a Tekken Tag Team, which Tekken Tag Team is not canon. It's never canon, but to have that and it wasn't what we wanted. We wanted either to continuation to the story, which I know we weren't going to get that, or at least something better at the time. And again, I like Tekken Tag 2 over Tekken 6. I will always say that because you could play. They brought in Tiger. You got to play young Heihachi.
Man, Tiger, bro.
Yeah,
When was the last time you saw that dude? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
So like it brought back characters you completely forgot about. Which that's the one thing about
yeah,
Tekken Tag is like you know they're gonna bring you old school characters. It's like, oh shit, I forgot about them, and they play them, and you're like, damn, I wonder how they will work with this character or how they react. Especially
yeah.
the end in the outros when you have the two characters and they know each other and you get that special interaction. That shit
Oh
was
yeah,
good.
that was the dopest. And, like I actually still own Tekken Tag Tournament too because it was a cool steelbook that I bought for it.
Mm-hmm.
Which there's actually a few. So, but I forgot which one. I think I bought the one with Jin and I think Nina's on it too. Anyways, I still own it, and because I played it way late into its life cycle, super late. Like it wasn't even. I'm surprised the net code was still available. I'm surprised online was unfunctioning, but it was. I'm surprised it was.
It's a good game.
But it wasn't bad. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie because it is canon, so you have to remember that, and you just you go and just
Is
fucking
it
around.
canon? I thought it
It's
wasn't canon.
oh sorry, no, I thought I said not. I know it's not canon. I'm
Okay,
saying
sorry.
not canon. Sorry, when you know it's not canon, you know you can just go and not just having some fun, just fucking
Yeah.
around, right? And yeah, it's so awesome as like you not necessarily a historian, but when you're a long time Tekken fan, and you remember Tiger and what's her name, Misahiro or whatever, Xiao Yu's alter character from Tekken 4,
Um.
and I think even Tekken 3, but Tekken 4 for sure. Her school friend. I don't know her name, but starts with an M. Not Michelle. No, not
I would say
Michelle.
Michelle
But
is Julia's daughter.
yeah, that's Julia's
Yeah.
other. I forget if she's her
No,
friend
that's her
or
daughter.
something, but yes.
That's her daughter.
Are you sure it's her
Yeah,
daughter?
because Guru likes her and her daughter.
No. Ganryu only loves
I know
Julia.
and the new, like I said, the video I sent you that shows you like the lore of it. He loved her daughter, and then he loved her, and then when he found out she had a daughter, he loved her too. It's
I
weird.
don't think no, because Michelle's actually an adult, and Julia's not that old. Even this far into the games, she's still not that old.
Are you sure?
I think it's just her friend. I think it's her friend.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's her friend or someone else that she knows. I don't think it's a daughter. But either way though, you see Michelle, you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh shit, I've seen you forever. Like fuck yeah. Um, and then like I said, Xiao Yu's friend and Armor King, which he's not in many games,
Yeah.
so that was dope. Um, and like even Lily's butler, Sebastian, it's like
I
what?
forgot he
He
was
had
in
never
that
been in any
too,
game before.
and he has her
He's never been
sing.
in any game. Yeah, but that was and like of course Dr. B, you're like, oh man, Dr. B's in the
Yeah.
house. You haven't seen him since his second tag or Tekken 3 or whatever. So I mean, it's dope. To mess around with all that. No, ogres, they're back, and you're like, oh my gosh, the ogres are
Yeah,
back.
yeah. That was
you
that
know,
game. I thought they did a lot
um,
amazing. So like, I like
unknown,
that.
like unknown from Tekken Tag
Oh,
Tournament 1, Angel from Tekken Tournament 1, they're in there and you're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. So I mean, it was super cool to see them, even if I necessarily didn't play as them, it was so cool to see them again.
mm-hmm.
Which matters. That speaks for something. But anyways, fighting games have gotten much more popular, particularly Tekken now. And I know that they spent a lot of their time, of course, doing that story thing. But I do know the other main focus was online because they
Mm-hmm.
knew that's where the future was. Like if they wanted to survive and thrive, they knew they had to get into the online fighting space. They knew they had to,
Definitely.
which I understand. Even if I'm not a part of it, I get it, right? So I know it's not for me, but I know if this is the way we can get Tekken 8, I'll roll with it. And so, but I hope now that they know that they're not as desperate to survive, given the climate of fighting games and also how strong the Tekken brand is now, I'm hoping that they can dedicate more resources and time to the other offline modes that they once used to do and that they used to be so good at back in the day. Even Tekken 6 had more online modes than 7 did, you know? And so like that says something, you know. I did like Treasure Battle. I
Mm-hmm.
did like. I did spend a lot of time on it. Trust me, it
Yeah,
was
you
fun
get
constantly
different
unlocking stuff.
costumes.
That was fun. It was like a nice, unpredatory way of you being able to unlock stuff at a regular basis without having to spend anything. Especially because you didn't even need to be that good at the game.
Yeah, you can just fight regular characters. You can
Yeah,
fight offline and just
yeah.
play whatever your favorite character and unlock stuff for them.
Oh yeah, and you could I think you could still set the difficulty to easy, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it affected your what you could unlock when you got a chest or whatever. And so yeah, that was a lot of fun doing that. I mean, it does kind of get a little boring after time, but it was fun nonetheless. I liked it. But then it was like when you realize, excuse me, this is it. Beyond, I guess you said that there was an arcade mode, but like there's nothing with it, nothing before or after.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just here's 8 stages done. Basically, the arcade mode from the arcades
Yeah,
when that hit the
without even the
arcades.
story. Yeah, you don't even get the story. You get
Um,
the special event, which is just like a PNG of the boss character from the story mode, either be Akuma, Heihachi, Jin, or Demon Kazuya. And then if you did beat them, you went on further to fight the next person of the boss fight. But then after that, it's just end credits. Like that's it.
yeah, it was a bit of a it sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. For offline, I feel like
Donkey Dick.
we got everyone who likes to play this game for offline shit, which got destroyed, shafted. If you didn't
Mm-hmm.
like online, which we don't, and a lot of people
I
don't,
didn't. No, I did not.
we're just not inclined to play that. We just got royally shafted. So I'm hoping they pay more attention. They remember that, and they do more with 8 and with. I mean, I don't need like a whole smorg. I mean, I know like 3 was like the pinnacle
Yeah, that's when
offline
they
modes.
three
Like
saved the career, they saved the franchise. It
like
really did.
3, they went balls to the walls with 3 on the offline modes. Yeah, Tekken Force, Tekken Ball, Tekken Team Battle, like Tekken Bowl, like you
Mm-hmm.
had you were we were spoiled
Yeah, Tekken
for
3 saved them. It
for
really did.
choices. I'm not gonna lie, that was like the pinnacle of offline modes. I'm not asking for that. I don't need. I'm not saying I need
Oh,
7
I am
different
a little bit.
modes.
I am a
Okay,
little bit.
maybe he is,
I am
but
a little
like
bit. If Tekken 8 is the final, which it looks like this is going to be the end to the story, I need all of that. And I need all of
okay, I
that
mean,
if they're the last
if
one.
this does end up being the last Tekken, at least for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
then it's then yes, I do want that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would love to have. I would love to have all that. I wouldn't really wouldn't do most of it. Like
Oh, you don't have to play all of
I
that, but
wasn't a
like,
fan of Team Battle. I never was a big fan of Team Battle. I did like Tekken Bowl. I
mm,
like Tekken Force. I really only did it because I needed to unlock Doctor B because like I need to unlock Doctor B.
is it the
Um,
fart blast? Is it the fart blast? Is that why you?
well, when I found out
is
I didn't even know he could do that at first.
oh
But I'm talking about Doctor B, not Gone. But
no, I know, but like I thought we had his little chemistry. Like he would make his little chemistry
oh, you
shot and
know
then
what?
blast
I think
up.
he can fart too. You're right. And also,
Yeah,
I remember when you first fight him, and he's like on the ground, and you're like, why is he starting on the floor? It's like,
yeah.
what is happening? Why is
It's
he
like
on the floor?
why am I fighting an old man that's
Yeah,
like crouched down?
what's going
Why am I
on?
doing that? Yeah.
But anyways, I'm not asking for all of that, but I am asking for at least a little bit more, just so I can really get the most out of my purchase, especially if this game's going to be $70, which it probably will be.
Yes.
At least on PlayStation, it probably will be.
Definitely.
It's like I really
Unfortunately.
want to make sure I get the most. I want to, as an offline player, I want to get more out of my purchase, and I do care about the story. Don't get me wrong. I want to know what's going on
Mhm.
with Jin and Kazuya, and maybe even Heihachi, which I'm pretty sure he'll be in it in some way.
I hope so. I
Um,
do. I don't know, but I
especially
hope
well
he
after you
does.
said that he didn't actually die.
No,
I'm
no, he did die in no.
I thought you said Akuma didn't kill him.
No, Akuma didn't kill Heihachi, but like Kazuya and Heihachi had their final fight. And spoilers,
Oh,
Kazuya beat Heihachi, dumped him in a
totally
volcano.
forgot about
And
that.
yeah, then Hekuma shows up and then they have their fight, but it ends in a big blast end
Okay.
credits draw. So we don't know what happened.
Okay, I
But
forgot. I forgot he did that.
yeah.
Well, as we
Yeah,
know,
but
volcanoes apparently don't matter to the Mishima clan.
very
So,
true, very true.
uh,
I will also say that unfortunately, like his actual real world actor, voice actor died. And if I learned anything from my Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough, um, when a certain character dies, they don't give that person any voice lines. So I don't think he'll be there. Like Phil's Japanese voice actor in KH3 is dead. Phil has no talking lines, but he's in the game. Okay. And he's like sign languaging and shit. Like, so I don't think they're going to give a main character like Heihachi in the game and have him just like sign languaging and grunting. It just doesn't make sense.
Maybe he'll be a stinger at the end or something, because then he's in the game, but not actually in the game. And then if there does become a 9, so much time would have passed between 7 and 9 that if we did get a new voice actor, it would be as jarring.
Yeah.
Because so much time would have passed, right? Because we've already had to wait, 8 years between 7 and 8? So if we had to wait another 8 years between 8 and 9, we probably would have forgot what he sounded like. I mean, not really, but you know what I'm saying, though. Like, it'll be okay. It won't be as what? Who is this imposter? It'd be like, oh,
like, who's this old man?
The dude died like years ago, bro. We needed to get someone new. It's like,
I don't know, because like you listen to. I know you haven't said you haven't seen it, but if you watch the Netflix animated series of Tekken 8, I watched it. You're supposed to. The default language is in English. I watched that bitch in sub with Japanese. Jin sounds like himself, kinda. If I like squint really hard, he sounds like his Japanese actor. Kazuya does not sound like his Japanese actor. Nina kinda does. But like, yeah, the characters, they kind of, the voice actors from the game kind of voice themselves in the actual show, it seems like. Except for Heihachi, because like I said, his character is dead. And his is the only one that I specifically try to look for, and I can tell that that's not him. But yeah, it would be interesting if they do bring him back for the other games. I would like to see Heihachi back. I'm a Heihachi fan, and watching him die it fucked me up. I was like, I did all of this. I spent nights, because like when I first got it, I played it on like either normal or hard mode. I want to say normal, but I'm gonna say hard mode just to boost my credit up. Unfortunately, on my shut your ass up.
He didn't play hard.
When I did it on the channel, I went down to easy because I just did not have the patience. But fighting Kazuya as Heihachi, oh my god, he took so much damage in that fight. That man took a blast. He got thrown back to the ground. He took a hit to the chest. His clothes was tattered, and he just kept getting back up. At that point, I was like, okay, you're old. I just need to lay down, because like if you get hit anymore, you're not getting back up. And when he got hit that last time and didn't get back up, I was like, please just put him down. And Kazuya went and tossed him into the volcano. I was like, no. No. It was like, my character's gone now. Now I got like one left. I still got like, I think 4 other characters, but he was one of my mains. He was my main, and he is dead now. What am I going to do?
See, this is why you don't fuck around with main cast characters in Tekken. They're doomed. Like, they're doomed, bro.
He was one of my mains. So now I got Jin. Like I still have Law. I have Eddie. I have Jin. But if Jin somehow dies in this next game, where he kills himself to kill Kazuya in the next game, or like they just age him in the next game after Tekken 8, and he's like, they're kids and he's old as fuck, and I gotta pick a new character, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. I don't want to play a new character. That's the one thing I don't like about that Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat did, is that they aged the characters up too and got their new kids in here. So like, the original characters that you like playing are older now, and that their kids are now supposed to be the next generation. I don't want that for Tekken. I don't want the next generation of fighters to like have our characters die out. I don't want to be reminded that I'm old now, that my character has old age. Like, there was one thing to see young Heihachi and then go back to old Heihachi, but to see Jin with some gray, or Eddie Gordo with some gray in his beard, and then we have another motherfucker that does capoeira or has demon powers. I don't want that little shit. I want my person.
Well, the funny thing about Tekken is that, like, for the longest time, the characters just didn't age.
Yeah.
Right? I remember reading like the manuals for like Tekken 3 and 4 and stuff back when that was a thing. Mm-hmm. And they stay their same ages. Like Xiao Yu was in high school for like forever. 5 games, bro. Like from like Tekken 1 to Tekken 5. She was in high school for like all those games, I swear.
And her and Jin are the same age. And like Jin is like
supposed to be the same age too, which is like, what?
Yeah. Jin is a goddamn adult. Shay Yu must have like failed. Like she's too busy entering tournaments and hanging out with Panda, so she just failed. She's been held back.
but that's the only reason, that's the only thing I can explain it, because she has been in high school from this. I don't think I mean, the only time I remember seeing Jin in school uniform was in 3, because it
Yeah.
was a costume you can unlock for him in a school uniform. And I think he's also, I think, in either his or Xiao Yu's like ending thing or whatever, I think. Or there's some artwork for it. But that's any other, he's never been in school ever
No.
before that. And yeah, he's supposed to be the same age as Xiao Yu. I mean, maybe a year older,
I think a
maybe.
year older, yeah.
Maybe at the most. At the most a year. And so you're gonna tell me, so he graduated the next year, you're gonna tell me Tekken 4, the Tekken 6 are within a year of each other because Xiao Yu was still in that schoolgirl outfit
Yeah.
all those games, but Jin is out, like somehow taking over the world and like taking over companies and corporations, but yet Xiao Yu is still in high school. What? Like, so yeah, that was really funny. But you mentioned earlier, the last thing I think we'll close out here is this little funny little thing. King keeps like to antagonize me about saying Tekken is a anime game,
It is.
and I absolutely disagree with that. Only because of like, how can that be an anime game? Because he basing it off the fact now because we recently got the anime for it,
Yes.
and
On top of it has two movies, two animated movies. Tekken,
those are old though.
the old
Those are
school.
old, bro.
Yes.
Real old.
Yeah. And then Tekken Bloodline or Tekken Revolution. That one's the more recent one. Now it's totally not canon, but that's the most recent animated movie. And then we have two Tekken live actions. Both are ass. Don't
Wait,
even try
oh
to watch
gosh,
them.
there
Don't
was a
Google them.
Tekken. Wait, there's 2 of them. I remember one of them.
It's Tekken. There's one that just says Tekken, the
Oh
live action, and then
no,
there's Tekken 2, Kazuya's
they actually
Revenge,
made.
which
Oh,
they're
I think
awful. They're
I've never
terrible.
seen it, but I remember I think I've seen like online, like a screenshot or something, or the box art or whatever for the
Hmm.
first one, and it must have been a long time because I don't remember that at all. And I'm just like,
It
holy, I was like, what the
it
fuck?
was not
I mean, it
good.
can't be. It must have been. It was obviously from a long time ago, I'd imagine, and around the time, like
Hmm.
probably the same thing they did with fucking the Goku one, or the Dragon Ball Z one, and they would with Dead or Alive. Yeah, I'm sure they were all ass. But I do remember the animated one of them. You said there's 2, but I remember one of them
Hmm.
because it was a package deal for those, remember, for Tekken Tag Tournament when they got re-released as an HD collection.
Hmm.
You got Tekken Tag Tournament in HD, and then you got Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Prologue, where you could play as, it was basically a demo. It was basically a demo for
Hmm.
Tekken Tag Pro Tournament 2. Um, and then you also got a Blu-ray video, like original video that kind of ties in 6 with like whatever. It was like basically 6, but they introduced a
Hmm.
couple other characters too. Um, that was the only one I remember. As far as I knew, that was the only thing that existed. But you told me there was another
Yeah,
animated film.
there's another one. That one, the one that you're talking about, yeah, that one's not canon because it has Jin, Kazuya, and Heihachi fighting. Kazuya technically dies, not Kazuya. Heihachi technically dies, and then Jin and Kazuya, they go into their devil form, but their devil forms look totally different in the game. Even the director says that's not canon because Jin learns how to control his devil form in that
Hmm.
movie, and he doesn't. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah, he still doesn't know how to. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was an original one that came out like when the Tekken 3 came out, the movie Tekken
Whoa.
had came out and it was basically Tekken 1, the story of Tekken 1.
Whoa.
And that
That's
one wasn't
old. That
anime.
is old. Old. I'll have to
Yeah.
see if I can find that. I didn't know that existed. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually still holds up. It still looks good. It has that old school
Well, it's an
anime look
anime.
to
I
it.
mean, it's gonna look okay. I mean,
Yeah.
animes are kind of tougher to like age poorly. I've come across.
You'd be
I
surprised.
mean,
You'd be surprised.
I've been more impressed with, because some animations don't hold up well, but animations are a bit better to hold up from what I've seen. I don't
Hmm.
know. I'm not surprised to hear that it held up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he's basing the fact that it has these animes of that as an anime game, and I
Hmm.
detest that because when he gave me the definition of it, I was like, well, this kind of doesn't help your case because, in my opinion, because Tekken was never based off of any anime property beforehand or a manga or whatever have
Hmm.
you, and so I'm like, okay, it's made by Japanese developers, and it's obviously going to have a certain art style reminiscent of what's popular with anime, but
Hmm.
that doesn't make it an anime game, in my
It has
opinion.
media. It has animated
But
media. It had it like
but it wasn't. But you
you
could say that that media was based off of the game. The game was not
and
based
is
off of the media.
and every other game iteration after that builds on the story that's already built from it. So like when they have the animated movie, it's Tekken 3. The animated series that's out now is Tekken 3. The animated movie that's Tekken, that's just Tekken, is Tekken 1, and then we have that non-canon movie, and then the two live actions. Those are all from the game, which are now animated.
Yeah,
Like,
but Tekken was never at its. It was never in. It was its inception was not based off of any pre-existing anime or whatever like that. Because you could take any property and make an anime out of it. It doesn't make that property all of a sudden an anime property just because there's an
if
anime
it
out of it. That's not how that
it comes from
works.
an
That's
anime,
not how.
it's an anime.
No, the anime
Hey,
came from this. It. If it was the other way around, I would agree with you. If Tekken was already like some kind of like light novel series or a manga,
mhm.
and then they were like, "Hey, I think we can make a fucking game out of this," and they made a game out of it, and then here's Tekken, I'd be like, I can't say shit because yeah, that it was pulled from an anime, but this wasn't the case. This was the opposite. Without the Tekken, those movies would have never existed in the first place.
But they have them now, just like Persona or Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is the one, I'll give you that one. That one, it can't be an anime, even though it has an anime. It can't be an anime game. But like we have Nora and Automata, that's an anime that's coming out now. It has the anime look to it. It might as well be an anime game. There was another one I just mentioned before I said Cyberpunk. Fuck, I just lost it.
Yeah, I lost it too.
Oh damn, because
You did
I
just
said
say it.
I said Cyberpunk
Yeah,
near.
and then
What was the other one?
uh,
I was just
wait, why am I also having a blank?
see.
Because that's how
There's
much. See,
another
because
one
that's
that
how much is bullshit. That's why. Because
I mean,
that's
hey,
why.
it's an anime out for it.
And
There's an
so,
anime out for it, but I just can't think of the other one that I had
well, the one
that
I
was
think of is
going.
Resident Evil because that one had another one recently
That
too.
one has one
And
too.
it,
Again, that one I
you
kind of can see
can't
how. Yeah, I can't
say
see
it's a
that one
resident.
as an
It's not an
anime.
anime game.
Yeah, it's
It's just
not.
I know it's easy to say like Nier or Tekken because they're from Japanese origins. Like that's who made the
Mhm.
game. So I get it why you want to just say it's easy to say like, oh yeah, that's anime game for sure because it has the Japanese context of it and like has like kind of art style reminiscent of it. But to me, like when I look at Tekken and then I look at Blaze Blue or what's that other one that came out? Guilty Gear or gosh, what's it?
Persona.
No.
That was it.
Oh yeah,
No, but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying Persona.
Okay, like was
Yeah.
it Grand Blue? Grand. It's another one that Susui's playing. Yeah, it's the
Not Soul
he
Calibur.
plays this chick who's like a dragon or has a dragon or something like that. But she has like purple hair or something like that. I never really paid attention to the name of the game, but you know what I'm talking about, like those kind of games though, right? When I look at those and then I look at Tekken, I
Mhm.
can't. I'm like Tekken is a bit more defined. Oh, it's a bit more distinct from being an anime style fighting game. So that's why I say it's not because when I look at these other contemporaries, I'm like, no, this isn't to me an anime game at all. Um,
Mhm.
because of that. I'm not saying it doesn't have these Japanese influences, and sometimes it does get anime for sure. Like I know there's a couple, and Shao used ending cinematic in 4 and maybe even 5. Her whole ending is an anime. It's
Mhm.
like a quick little few minute anime thing. So like I'm not
So.
saying it's not influenced by it, but for you to
Mhm.
say this is an anime game, we're gonna have it in your anime battle arena thing, whatever you fuck you do. Um,
ABL Anime Battle League.
yeah, whatever the fuck he does.
It's open for better names, but that's the name of it right now.
Yeah, It's like I don't think this qualifies for that because it's
Hey,
not an
okay.
anime game. So,
So okay, I ask you this. I counterpoint with this.
all right.
You know how there are people that play Fortnite, right? And they
Uh-huh.
see the characters that are in there, and they just like the Naruto's and the Dragon Ball Z's, and they say they see them in the anime medias, and they say, "Oh, that's a character from Fortnite. That's a Fortnite character." And then the anime people that are watching this, they want to murder the Fortnite kid because he just said that.
Yeah.
Anyone that has never played Tekken but has seen the show and then see that there's a game after there, what will they tell you? What will they say to you? It's an
I
anime
honestly
game.
don't think I'm ever gonna come across that.
You, you would think that, but
I
we're in a
will
world
say,
now where there are Fortnite
I
characters
mean,
that are
yeah, you're gonna have. I mean, that's just like you're just misinformed, and I'm gonna educate you on what's the correct situation.
really.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Cuphead. Cuphead had the same problem. I was reading forums. People were complaining. They were like, "Is Cuphead supposed to be this fucking hard?" Or they'll be like, "Hey, where's the 2 player mode for Cuphead?" Or something,
Mhm.
right? Because they were like, "Oh, I wanted to play with my kid." but like we couldn't get past the first stage. Like, is there an easy mode or something?
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
watched the show. And everyone else is just like, sorry, bro, you got fooled. You got duped, bro. You thought this was a kid because it was for kids. You thought
Yeah.
the game associated was for kids. Sorry, it's not. I don't know what to tell you. You better just
Yeah.
better tell little Jimmy to fucking pick up the sticks and get good. So that's all you can do is just like, hey, you're misinformed. We're sorry. This is what happens when you don't properly tie in other medias together in a proper way. So this is just the price you pay for it. So I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. So like
Which
if they came
that
up to me, I just tell them like, oh no, this is the game actually is like 25 or whatever years old back on the PS1. This actually came way back like in 92 or whatever. And they'd be like, what? Like, yeah, this came way before the movie. So it's like they'll be like, oh. So then you educate them and they hopefully will remember that. And if they were to retell people, they'll tell them what's the truth. So same thing with Fortnite and all this shit. Well, first of all, I was gonna say for those people, probably kids who are seeing a Goku in Fortnite and think, "Oh, that's a Fortnite character." Well, that's why I say not everyone needs to be able to vote. So that's my answer to that.
okay. I will agree with you on that. Or just fuck them kids. But yes, I will say that while that is the logical and the more realistic thing that you would say, after a while of hearing people say that is just that's the anime. That's like, oh, it's from the anime. This game is an anime game. You're gonna hear more of that from the casual people, like the people that aren't even us that play this game, that just seen this from the other medias and be like, oh, this is the game. This is a game from that show that I watched. This anime game. You're gonna hear that more so than people like us that have played the games, or even like hardcore fans that know that has every single iterations and the movies. And you're like, no, it's an anime. It's a game first, and then the anime. You're just gonna like. I don't see that you're gonna find that many people that are gonna be that like stickler about it. I feel like
Well,
it
you're
counts.
not. I know that. I
Yeah.
know I'm just being a fucking little hard ass for it.
Yeah. At least we have it on recording. So like, yeah, lawyer.
I'll be the first to admit it. I don't care. Like, yeah, I know I'm
Okay.
being a hard ass about the whole thing, partly for humor, but
Yeah.
partly because to me that it doesn't like at the end of the day, does it matter to me? No, it doesn't. I do think people may be a little bit confused, but like this is probably one of the not as egregious confusions to have because, like I said, Tekken does have Japanese and anime artistic influences for sure. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, it's not like Resident Evil, the show was like, I don't know, a racing game, or like a racing situation, and the people are like, hey, why am I playing this horror game when I wanted to play this thing based off the show I saw? So it's not like something stupid like that, or in the sense of Cuphead, where parents thought they were going to play a nice little game with their little kid, and then 2 hours later or 20 minutes later, their kid's crying because they can't beat the first, I don't know, 10 seconds of the first level, and the kid and the parent can't understand what to do about it. Now that's a bit of a more bigger problem, in my opinion, than this situation, this little thing I have with Tekken. But I still stand my ground. And Tekken is not an anime game. Neither is Soul Calibur. Neither is Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur, does that have an anime?
No, but if it ever did, I wouldn't say it is an anime game.
It doesn't have an anime, so it doesn't count.
Here's the thing. DOA doesn't, but I think that's an anime game. I wouldn't be opposed to someone calling it that. Because that game wears its inspirations on its sleeve, bro. And also on its chest. So that's why. I mean, I look at DOA, I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
Really, that one is an anime.
That's an anime right there. That absolute every jiggle I see is a reminder.
I feel like it's personal preference. I feel like because it's just like with the Avatar: The Last Airbender. People say that some people say that's an anime. Some people don't say that's an anime. I feel like it's like that. Like just like how you look at it. It's the inspirations of it and its characters. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it has to be a duck.
It has to be a duck.
It has to be a duck.
Or a duck in disguise.
Yeah, or a duck. It counts as a duck then.
But it don't taste like a duck.
Hey, it looks. I didn't say it tastes like a duck. I said it looks, quacks, and walks like a duck. It has to be a duck. Now we're not getting into the taste of it. It counts as a duck. So next year's ABL, or at least anyone has a better name for it. I'm open for ideas. It's gonna be next year's. It's gonna be on their next year's one.
Um, whatever, man. Well, I was gonna say something about okay, DOA. Oh, with the Avatar thing. This is a quick little tangent. I was gonna say I think people, if you've been on the fence on that, because a lot of people have watched Avatar. It's an amazing show. I think we have to. I was telling King the other earlier today was I think people need to remember that animes don't have to be exclusive to Japan. In my opinion, it doesn't have to be. I think it's okay. Like there's nothing like why like it's like almost you forget that like oh yeah people as an American animator I'm not one but if I was one there's nothing stopping me from making an animation show with that's inspired what you see in animes, how they do it in the Japanese ways. There's nothing stopping me from making one, but like but I'm gonna have probably my Western influences mixing in with that, and so it's still gonna be an anime, but not from a Japanese creator. This is what happened with Avatar, in my opinion, and Teen Titans to your extent, and
Yeah.
Teen Titans. They weren't made by maybe not. Maybe they weren't primarily made, I think, by Japanese animators. Like that was just like exclusively where it was. They were made over West, whether that's Europe or America. So they have some of the things you're used to seeing with animes, but it has a Western flavor to it. But it's still an anime, in my opinion. It's a
Right.
Western anime, whatever the closest that whatever you could think of in your head. That's what I think. That's how I would classify them. Avatar and Teen Titans or whatever. I think there's only two I can really think of that kind of fit that mold.
Yeah, those are the only really two that people
I mean,
mainly because Teen Titans they have two different intros. One that has Hey Hi they both were
yes,
played by Hey Hi Puffy Amiyumi.
yeah.
It's
And
just
one's
the design
Japanese.
for it.
Yeah, one's in Japanese, which yeah, I know that one. I mean, they're both dope. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, there's like that Japanese influence with Teen Titans because of that, right? Obviously there's a bit of an anime. I was gonna say maybe Code Lyoko, but I don't know.
That one,
Um,
I would say that one was the more so first, not first, but more what you're saying of American anime because that is an
well,
Americanized
Western,
yeah,
not
Western,
American,
sorry,
Western.
Western anime, more so in Western anime, because like they have the American what Americans would deem anime would look like back then, with the characters looking the way that they did, and then when they went to the cyber world more, uh, I won't say
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, but more exaggerated looks for the characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That was actually made by a French studio, by the way,
really.
which is why I want to preface Western, not just
Mm-hmm.
American. But it's actually made by a French studio. Um, but yeah, like that you might be able to throw them into the mix in this conversation too. But it's like this is kind of like what the result might be when you take Western animators but they're inspired by anime over East, but obviously they're going to mix in their Western understandings too, bring it together. I think that's what we
Mm.
got with Lyoko, Avatar, and Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So, but I still think those are all three are animes, just not Japanese animes. Because you forget, you could be, you can have an anime that's not from Japanese animators, you know. But, anyways, that's it. We're done yelling and talking about Tekken 8. Those are our thoughts, or about Tekken as a whole. Um,
Yes. Yes. It's a good game. You should get
Overall,
it.
well, yeah, you should get Tekken 8. It's not out yet. We should get it.
All the Tekkens, get all of them.
Get all of them, especially five. Well, all you need to do is get four. No, actually,
Four.
just five. Just five, six, seven, and the Tekken tags because five. I don't know how they did this, but in five, they actually were able to program all the previous Tekkens in five. There's a Tekken, I think they call it Tekken Arcade History or something like that, or Tekken Arcade. If you click
Mm-hmm.
on it, you can actually play Tekken 1. They actually put ROMs in Tekken 5 to play 1, 2, 3, and 4. And not only that, it's not just like a demo, it's the full game. Like unlockable modes and everything. Because I remember I did 3. I was like, really? Okay, let me go back to play 3. And I did, and the whole cast is there, and I beat the game, and you unlocked characters, you got Tekken Bull, all that. I'm like, what the heck? So like, you only need 5. You need 5 and forward because 5 will get you all the other ones before that. So, anyways, but that's it for this one. Thank you, I guess. Thank you for showing up for this.
Hi
Uh,
again. I'm the casual special guest. I'm always gonna be the special guest, and I'm here. If you need a da 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 da, I'm here. Just I'm here for you. Me and
just
Leroy.
yeah,
We got this.
because they got nothing better to do, I guess.
Hey, hey,
And
hey. I could go driving, but If my man RJ needs me, if my city needs me, I'm
Oh
here.
my gosh, that's it.
Da,
Okay.
da, da, da.
He's okay. Say thank you for him showing up. I'll leave a channel as always to his description.
I
Whatever
appreciate it.
you know the fucking thing, guys. I'm not gonna bother. See you guys next time. Hit the bells and all that shit, and goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.